Again, we welcome you back to the dialogue. We are still live on Salt TV, being watched all over the world. My name is Moses Kajango, your host today. With me in the studios, I have two doctors and the one who said anytime he will be a doctor. Richard, you're most welcome to the dialogue. And we've heard in the first hour what we have discussed as far as democracy in Uganda is concerned. We are still moving on with another topic that we are going to discuss, but there are very many things that are happening in Uganda, gentlemen. Given the attack, the Panga thing is also back, guys. And we have seen in Pigi, and in Kasese in general, very many people have lost their lives, and we continue to pray for them. And we pray for a peaceful elections so that people do not fear that it could be connected to the upcoming elections. So we continue to pray for the people of Uganda. We continue to pray for the people of East Africa to go through a peaceful election as Uganda is heading for election. Gentlemen, as I promised you, there are very many things that are happening in the country. But the most important thing is we have to talk about the heart of Kampala. That is Kampala City. Kampala City is for all of us that unites everybody. If you are coming from northern Uganda, if you are coming from the area where Richard was talking about that there is some chaos during election, this is his home area, he's already in Kampala, you have to be concerned of what is happening in Uganda. Doctor, what is happening in eastern Uganda? You have to put your radio or switch on your TV to see what is happening in Kampala, because it's a central business district and we have to be concerned about what is happening. We have seen floods displacing traders all over the city. We have seen traders demonstrating over unfair tax. We have seen traders heading to court, taking one of the tycoon or the businessman harm to court for what is happening. And all of you have been following what is happening in Kampala as far as the developing of Nakivubo Channel is concerned. We shall give tribute to the late Sebana Kizito, the former mayor of Kampala, who developed and worked on Nakivubo Channel, which used to be the center of thieves and where people used to die. But he did a very big job to make sure that Nakivubo Channel is developed. But we saw a directive from the President of Uganda, the Fountain of Honor, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, giving a leeway to one of the business tycoon in town, that is Ham, to develop Nakivubo Channel. But we are seeing what is happening. And we have seen advisors, politicians, councillors both in Kampala and outside Kampala advising otherwise. The environment, we call them environment what? Environmentalists?
Yes.
Those who talk for the environment. We have seen NEMA coming out saying that we have not okayed this project. But they said that something will happen. I saw the Lord Mayor, Kampala, talking about what is happening, what will happen if the channel is developed to that extent. Ugandans welcome the developments in the city. And we have seen the structural plan, the sketch of the plan for the Nakivubo Channel. If it's completed, I think Ugandans will enjoy. But we are yet to see what will happen in that area. Gentlemen, we need to talk about what is happening in the city. The demonstration, first of all, it's taking place in Kampala. The traffic is a real problem. People have lost their goods. I saw yesterday in our news, somebody, water entered his shop. He was selling mattresses and he cannot recover. He cannot recover his clothes. He cannot recover the money he has put in. But as a result of what is happening in town. I will again start, this time around, let me start from my right here, my neighbor here.
I had something before my brother comes in. Only that, of course, now you have charged the audience. They're just waiting for what we are going to say about this. But anyway, let me just point out a few things. Then my brother can come in. One is that everywhere in the world, water channels even sometimes areas which are considered to be below sea level, like is it the Netherlands? They are all developed, and they even ensure technologically, because the Bible is very clear. The Bible gives man dominion of everything.
Yes.
Go control everything, multiply and subdue the world. So in subduing the world, some of these things that are constructing on top of a water channel, which goes through the middle of a city, is a welcome idea. It is not just only here in Uganda. I think what is the problem, in my opinion, and I think this topic has been discussed a little bit at length in other platforms, is the quality of work that is done, but also the involvement of stakeholders. The developing economies, Uganda inclusive, has got, among other troubles, the arrogance of thinking that I can do what I want to do, and whoever feels bad about it can go and hang. Now, if, for instance, the Nachuvo channel, I think, was initially opened up in 1938, around there. That's Nachuvo channel. Yes. Then, of course, other subsequent leaderships have come, improve on it, but we have always continued to have the Kampala channel master plan has never been implemented. The Honorable this Kampala Muhammad Nsereko was in Parliament several times talking about the Kampala master plan, water channel master plan, because some parts in Kampala, and especially like that Nachuvu, we know that it is still in a waterlogged area. Call it a wetland or whatever you want to call it. But in awarding our brother Ham the contract to do what he is currently doing, where is the input of the stakeholders? If at this material time we still have allegations, I call them allegations, I'm yet to prove some of these things. We still have allegations, say for instance from the ED of KCCA, to say I came to inspect this project and I was stopped. If that is true, then each of us, any reasonable human being, should by now have smelt a rat. Why would you stop the head of the city from inspecting a worthy and loved project? That is if it is true. Then two, you get the head of NEMA, that environment thing you're talking about, saying no, we didn't give a go ahead to that project. Now, without an impact assessment report clearing, without the input of KCCA, the authority under which the channel falls, the technical team of the engineers, who are those that are currently doing that channel? That is also extremely important. Who are the professionals that are actually constructing on that channel? When a matter had to go through the council, and we know that the council is 90%, they say, opposition, but it quickly got cleared, and it is giving the kind of consequences that it is giving right now. Is it something that they didn't care about and maybe money changed hands? Because now questions are coming up, and you cannot blame whoever is asking some of these questions. Is it that these people technically got the advice from the technical responsible people that actually, as you'd better and pass this, take into consideration some of these gray areas. If we do not have a technical report or technical reports, because there are so many stakeholders involved in this, how therefore is our brother developing the channel that he's always, I understand, during construction, problems are bound to happen. Because what we are now talking is that water is so excessive outside the channel. Not that before the construction started, Kampala was not getting flooded. No, Kampala was flooding.
True.
But the issue now is that the excess, there appear to be extremely high levels of water, surface running water, as a consequence of harm having blocked the channel. We know that during construction, such things happen. But you see, there used to be such a thing as sensitization. Was the public sensitized? The people who were bound to get affected directly by the construction of the channel, were they sensitized to put them on alert and probably to put mitigating measures? Because they are also stakeholders. If that was not done, then these are some of the issues that we should be discussing. And when people like our brother Elias Lukwago, the mayor, and some other politicians talk, we claim, because they have been talking before, that they are making political capital out of it. If there is any capital to be made, let them make it. Because you see, their gods seem to have been on their sides. On their side in the sense that, look, he talked about it even before it happened. He's on record having written a letter that you people, you are to the Secretary General of NOP, where they hold about 90% of the councillors. Rain on your people. I see danger and they seem to not see it. Can you talk about it? There is no meeting that was even held internally as NOP. But they say, no, but who is safe? Even the minister under the law has got a mandate. If we had made a mistake, she could have reined in to say, no, executively, I am not okaying this. Now, there is this element of the president. The president writes a letter. We have known the president to write letters. It's not the first time to write letters. And sometimes he makes them very colorful. Probably now next time we should be, if for instance, in my opinion, he had in his letter, he had said, yes, this is a God-given opportunity, but I encourage the technical committees, so and so, so and so, so and so, please make a follow-up and ensure that as this construction takes place, every technical detail is followed and the dangers anticipated technically are averted. That would have made the extreme. But now, some sections of people seem to say, but look, the president, what you did. It's because of your letter that we are having these problems. And indeed, politically speaking, when such is said, for instance, at a rally, and our brother, the Elias Lukwago, is campaigning and he wants to come back to office, who can blame him? Therefore, in a manner of speaking, this is part of the politics. You see, people, I must warn myself and warn the audience also that politics is not merely appearing like here on a TV station where the world is looking at you and you talk what maybe the audience considers to be politics. Politics is not a dirty game. The participants, we the participants, and politics is at different levels. We are the ones who make politics a dirty game. When you make a wrong political decision, that's why it is called the science. A wrong political decision. Whether this wrong political decision was made by KCC councillors, whether it was made by our president, whether it was made by maybe parliament or at whatever level it was made, there you can really see that from when these instructions were given, that yes, we have given you clearance, go and do such a wonderful thing as constructing on the channel, the implementation has been problematic because the stakeholders who are directly affected by what is being done, at least from what we see, have not been wholly involved. And I think going forward, it's not too late. We could have a review of the designs. We could have also the involvement of technical teams which are not yet involved. Such that, yes, we continue with the project, but most importantly, that at least a good number of responsible technical teams and other stakeholders are as much involved as humanly possible. And finally, my final comments are that in order for us to be taken seriously, at whatever level, and if we must push this country to greater heights, there is need to desire and work towards cohesion. It does not cost me anything to involve somebody in an activity which affects him or her. Because going forward, tell me now, the people who seem to have taken this matter to court probably are looking for political capital. Exactly. Are they genuinely interested in the interests, business interests of the people that have lost? Probably yes, probably no. But you see, we are in an economy which is not stable. We are fragile. People whose businesses have been affected down there, they have got bank debts. They have got money which they sometimes they even borrow from money lenders, these loan sharks in town. And you find that somebody's business, mattress, shirts, what is all, you cannot recover anything. It's lost. Now we cannot continue. This place, these markets, they have burnt before. Not once, not twice, about 5 or 6 times. From burning, we are now talking about flooding water. The channels are overflowing and water entering into people's shops and merchandise all going bad. In an economy of this nature, I believe all that has happened has happened. What can be saved can be saved. But for the business community down there, my take is that government should look into how they can minimum, like insurance does, be brought back to, because the element of insurance in Uganda is still very young. The industry, the penetration, insurance penetration in the business community is at a very low level. To the extent that if you look at the people who have been affected by the water and how many are actually insured, that insurance is going to come and put them back to where they were, is actually maybe like 1%. Now you can imagine. Therefore, government, since we are in a political season, and majority of the decisions we are taking now are calculated to get us political capital, let the sitting government come look into the people's losses and compensate them. But most importantly, going forward and conclusively, let our government ensure that we don't do things willy-nilly and we actually follow the what we would call the protocol. What are the protocols? What are the procedures? If we jump the procedures, we appear to be giving somebody leverage. Some of the outcomes is what we are seeing in Nachivubo.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel. Our viewers out there, you are still tuned to the dialogue, and today, the 8th of November, the year of our Lord 2025, we are almost coming to an end of this year. I was coming to you, Doctor. Given the preamble which Doctor has given and the interpretation of the President's letter, which some people have turned it to be a directive, but given what Dr. Daniel has elaborated, it's more of like an advice, follow ABCD. The technicalities in that letter, and it seems that some people, the developers, have really taken it as if it is a directive by going against what the President had advised to follow, whatever it is needed, either through NEMA and the approval from the physical planning of Kampala, KCCA. And you have heard him say the executive director came to supervise and he was denied entry. Is this a culture that is developing? Because we have seen one hospital being constructed along Entebbe Road. Something is happening. The Speaker of Parliament went there and he was stopped to that extent. The Minister of Health was also stopped. Now we are seeing the same disease coming to KCCA. Where is the problem, Doctor, as far as this development is concerned?
You asked something about impunity. I think for me, you cannot talk about impunity and you take it away from the current administration. I think everywhere I'm looking, I'm seeing impunity. But coming to the letter of the president, definitely it was a directive. A president's word, however soft it is, carries a lot of weight. But I don't want to say that letter, you know, people now they call them sharp. You get a letter like that and then you pretend that everybody else does not matter, that National Environmental Management Authority does not matter because a letter was signed by the president. But the president gave a directive with conditions, which conditions now must be fulfilled by other people. Like the NEMA Act is very clear. If you are undertaking such a project, it's first of all, I think for the benefit of the viewers, Kampala is largely a wetland. And so people knew that as constructions go on over time, the city will flood. We have lived in cities. I lived in one of the cities that have reclaimed land. It is called Dalian in northeastern China. When it rains, you see a lot of water. But the moment the rain has stopped, you don't know where the water disappears because of the channel system within the city to stop flooding. So one of such projects in Kampala is this Nachivubo channel. And for me, my only concern when I saw that letter of the president, I was like, yes, Mr. Ham is interested in development. He's interested in developing this place, but is he going to manage the channel right from the source? Because I see this channel the water originate from Kazo, where we are collecting all the water through Kampala city. So if the center alone is obstructed, the obvious result is the water will, the city will flood. And for me, that was my fear. And that is why in this country, under the NEMA Act, if you are undertaking such a project, which has environmental and social aspects, these days there is what they call environmental and social impact assessment. Then there is social and environmental investment in the project. That is now when you come to what Dr. Rugarama talked about, that okay, the councillors gave a resolution, which I read and it is very vague because it said, we have passed a resolution to partner with the private sector through public-private partnership to consider a way of investing in Nachivubo channel. But it was so vague, as flat as that, the KCCA resolution. Then you have a letter which directs but gives conditions. Now, this is where NEMA was supposed to be given time. Come and see, how long is this? How many people are likely to be affected? Who are they? In the case of flooding during construction, how are they going to be compensated? Or does it require some evacuation that some people lose business and be taken to a different place? How many are they? What is their capital? Such that the project goes through smoothly. But right now, the impunity has brought this that you just offload, begin construction, and at the end of the day, the shops flood. Now, when they flood, since we don't have a good established disaster management system, now we send a prime minister to walk around. There's what we call management by walking around to appear like you are in charge of the situation, but in reality, if you asked how many people did you find, do you have the resources, what did they lose, all this information is not there. I come to another institution which is very critical towards ensuring that citizens of Uganda are protected. That is the parliament. This matter went there. This matter went through a petition to COSASE, Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities, and State Enterprises. And that is because Kampala is an authority, that was the right committee where this matter should have been discussed. But what we saw in Parliament, the leadership of Parliament simply said, no, don't do this. I've appointed a select committee of 4 people, including the chairperson of Infrastructure Committee. But so from then to date, there's no report, no public hearing, and this is what he talked about, because stakeholders would have been given an opportunity to appear before COSASE and articulate their fears.
Their views.
But all these channels were blocked, and this is what causes suspicion, anger, and when I saw the flooding, I said, hey, witchcraft is real. This is a rainy season in November. You're blocking the channels through construction. Kampala business people lose, and yet NRM is struggling to get support in Kampala. And then this happens. It's like you are now trying to give areas Lukwaga another term. Of course, if I was a politician, I would jump on it, especially in circumstances that I don't have much to show for my being there for a very long time. But I will jump on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, for your analysis as far as Kampala Central Business District is concerned. Our dear viewers, you are still tuned to the dialogue, as usual, every from 10 to 12 noon, where we discuss issues that concern Uganda. And you've heard exactly what they have discussed as far as the development of Kampala city is concerned. Richard, I will be coming to you. But before I come to you, there is also an allegation which was made, Doctor, about the chairperson of COSASE. And I remember you've talked about the leadership of Parliament, which made some directive as not to discuss in details about this investigation, where Honorable Segona is being accused of having passed some resolution, and what is happening, they are putting blame on what is happening, and the people who have died, that he's responsible. Who is blaming him? His fellow member of parliament in Batekamwa. The man who has been a member of parliament in Mubende, he is now in Western Uganda. Recently he went to be a mayor in Mbarara. He was thrown out. So Mbatakama has accused him, but he said that it was AI, it was AI, that's what he was trying to say, that he was not the one. The voice was changed by AI. So we are yet to hear, but Segona has come out to clear that negativity for what is happening. Richard, I'm coming to you. The traders are going to court. Is that a solution?
Probably.
The floor is yours.
Probably not. The flooding and the reactions that we are having are symptoms. And so, I'm sure the traders have not gone to court. I believe some lawyers have gone to court. They've gone and mobilized some people to justify they are going to court. You first have to ask yourself, what does the president have to do with building over a channel? Why? This is a very good and godly initiative. Those were the words. I don't know if you sit down, Django, and if you get a letter from your boss and they tell you this is a very good and godly initiative, So do you go back to say, Your Excellency, it is not so godly. There are some satanic elements into it. Because the satanic elements have manifested. They have manifested. I've listened to some people. I even was on one of the shows during the week with the one who is mobilizing for Kasita. And he was describing the losses. I was asking him, because I had some information about some of the things that go on downtown. Not so much, but I had. I for instance, knew that to work there downtown, you can pay goodwill of between 70 and 100 million. Goodwill. We are not talking about getting things to sell, or we are talking about paying goodwill. You share the space. So you find a space, it's shared by 7, 10, whatever people. They keep money in cash. It is very difficult to have money in banks if you are doing quick transactions the way they do. And they do big transactions, 300 million, 100 million. Once you put money on the account, then financially, whatever comes, and they say you can't take it out for 2 weeks, we are investigating. They don't work like that. They are the nerve center of this economy. I want you to go and investigate how much URL corrects from just a 1 kilometer square of that piece of real estate. That downtown. See how many malls there are. See what is the volume of business and how much does the Uganda Revenue Authority collect from there. So we are not talking about a space, because when they keep calling it downtown, we can start minimizing it as if the uptown people are contributing more.
Nothing.
So you have a channel that has been there, which has been part of several investments. The investments don't get concluded. You have a master plan, you borrow. If you look at how burdened we are because of the debts around the channel, and it has been subject to, there are thieves, there are things there. The channel itself has not yet been overwhelmed by the volume of water. No, the channel is still able to handle the volume of water. So it was not a problem of it. And then, you see, the president instructs the prime minister, says and puts Hamis in bracket. His proposal is imaginative and simple. Allow him to cover the channel, but there is a caveat. After clearing it and strengthening it at his own cost. And then, but he writes, his letter is conclusive. It's a directive to assist this one to have this implemented. And you see, it's issued at the prime minister level. It's from the president to the prime minister.
It is problematic. Read of business, government.
So every government agency. So it's
By the way, thank you for pointing that one out. I want the audience to understand that. Yes. We are talking about the prime minister, a leader of government business.
Yes.
You see? And the letter is from, see the words, this is what we are pointing, godly.
So you see, Kajangu, we cannot sit down here and downplay, and we start looking for who is responsible. And then we go to Rukwago. And then you go to, what is the Bzechi? Really, Kajangu, we are being dishonest and disingenuous. Yes. So, who is harm really in truth? Who is harm? How do you get these letters with these, the strongest, most descriptive directives? And so what would you expect any government agency, department to do? So they will give their advice. If you see, all of them gave their advice. That's why you are talking about the technocrat going to inspect. By the time you move this one to go to inspect, It's a trail. It's a trail of its meetings, its phone calls, its letters saying, look, we have a disaster in the making. However, for us, we have been dismissed like a village chicken. Maybe you are a peacock.
I don't know. I don't know, Richard, whether it's in order for the executive director to also to inspect something which has not also approved.
I have been telling you that by the time you see that one, that's what I'm saying. That by the time you see the executive director walk in, you know behind the one there have been warnings that there was Chitezi, people were arrested. You sit here and don't go, you are going to be arrested because there is a disaster in the making. Didn't we know Chitezi? So can we say this one was not? But what do? You fold your hands because you know the person who has written the letter. And you know what he is capable of doing. You know the one whom he has written to, and they will come and bulldoze you like bulldozer. So we must not pretend about where the problem is coming from. So how do you react? Kasita will, because they are feeling the pain. People are bleeding, they are crying, they have pressure is taking them. They have lost their livelihoods, they will lose their lives. So how do they express themselves? You put them in bureaucratic meetings, they come to express themselves, you put them all in prison. So what am I supposed to sit on TV and say? And talk about the technocrats? No. I will take this in my view, where it belongs. That is on plot 1. That's where the letter comes from. That's where it should be dealt with. Let me tell you finally, Kajangu, what is going to happen. And this one, you can keep the. There are people who are already salivating. They know bonanza has come.
Exactly. True.
It is a good time of politics. It's also a good time for compassion anyway. Money will be released and released quickly. Those traders whom you are telling to register, you go and ask, those malls, do they give anybody a written agreement? They don't give written agreement. They don't give receipts.
True.
No, they want you to pay in dollars. You must pay in dollars. So who are you going to compensate? So there are those ones who are waiting. The technocrats, I'm sure, are already discussing the level of compensation, and they are going to swallow the money. The beneficiaries will be ghosts, and then we shall have Kosase afterwards. I don't know, probe what. Kajang.
Also, wasting of taxpayers' money still.
Wasting is an understatement. Look for another one. That is where we are. This one will end up with the money being stolen. Those ones who have lost will not get that one.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. I think you can go back to Dr. Daniel. Doctor here has talked about the resolution which our council, KCC, and the councillors, which they passed. And I've ever said that throughout Uganda, it's very good that we have very good laws. Now he talked of the PPP, and that law is there, and they passed that. We need to partner with such a people. In your explanation at the beginning, in the opening remarks, as we had starting this this discussion, we still see that the opposition, who are the majority leading this Kampala city, they are still being blamed for what is happening in Kampala. And they are the same people who are again out there looking for solution.
There are about 3 things, comrade, which I would want to share with the public. See, when we come here, and that's why we thank you and say, for us, we do not claim to be absolute custodians of knowledge. We have information which we think we can share with the rest of the audience, and they also guide us. Now, having said that, I get the impression that actually either way, whether it is government, whether opposition, that's why the Uganda say, and I think it cuts across, Mbwayafana yasika, bonachi echimu. Now, we have got a problem here where we are saying, okay, council is now 90% or even beyond opposition at the level of councillors. Did they sit down to analyze what was before them and give, because Dr. Wanzara here described the resolution as confusing
and vague.
Vague. I used to have a lawyer at the law school, I mean a professor at the law school. He used to describe some of those documents as bogus. Now, when a document, a resolution, or whatever name you want to give it is described in those terms, then you have got a problem, and it goes back to the people who are involved in coming up with the same. So therefore, if we have been blaming Parliament, because we came here at one time and we were saying, when there was that audit in Parliament, the civil society was actually auditing Parliament, our own Parliament, national Parliament. Now, if the same at the level of councillors here at KCCA, who are actual opposition, that is not NRM now, are also doing the same thing, one asks himself, if the NRM MPs who are majority in Parliament are suspected to have eaten money from the executive, who gave money to these councillors at KCCA? And if it is true that actually they pocketed money and they didn't care what they were passing, they simply passed, who is therefore safe in this whole campaign of cleaning our country if we cannot trust the leadership and all its arms? And we can also not trust the legislators at the level of councillors who are in opposition. Where are we pushing this country going forward? Because if we talk about change, that we want change now, we are all yearning for change. Now, is it a case of jumping from a saucepan to a burning fire? These are some of the questions we should be asking ourselves. I therefore get very serious concerns that even issues of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, probably we need to reflect so deeply upon them, because this is not a question of political parties. Because political parties are simply vehicles through which people's ideologies, true ideologies, to liberate the wananchi, push the wananchi from one level to an advanced level of socio-economic development. But if we still have a situation such as this one, that there is a suspicion that money changed hands at the level of council, because this is going around, it is being talked about. And who can blame whoever is parading such a confession, a rumor? Because when you look at the outcome, when you look at all that has been said about the development of Nachivubo Channel, all the stakeholders, the kind of claims they are coming up with, you cannot help but also agree that probably what transpired at the level, even at the level of council, is suspect. I want to share with the audience, therefore, that as a country, we need a very serious rethink. And together, regardless of which political affiliation you claim to belong to. Because it would be unfortunate for me to sit here and say, you see, you have been claiming that NRM MPs and other people are the ones who are thieves. Look at it this way. Probably even our leadership at the level of, say, executive director, all of us remembering where we are coming from, especially the issue of Chitezi, probably there was a fear that I must move carefully who knows? Any slight mistake, a report is made against me, and I lose this job. I have just settled in here, then I end up lose the job. Then another heart is telling her that if you don't go there, they are going to make a report against you, like that it was you saw some gray hairs were raised, you didn't get to see what was happening. And another thing, even when she attempted to go there, question is, who is this person who stops the executive director, who stops a speaker, who stops a leader of opposition, who stops Minister X, Y from inspecting government-related projects? Who is that? Where does that order come? Because even if, by the way, a minister bumped into you without prior notice, responsible minister, responsible chief executive director bumped into you, where do you, because we have seen the so-called heads of institutions, ministers, being stopped at government facilities that we have come to monitor what is taking place, and the security guards say, I don't have orders to allow you. When in actual sense they would have reported, and somebody in charge simply says, simply don't allow them. So that level of impunity, my two colleagues here call it impunity. I want to agree with them. To the extent that somebody who is not properly known in government authority structure can stop another person who is actually well established in the structures, what does that make of the structures? Political, economic, or otherwise. So at the end of the day, if we are in this country, which for me, and it pains me, maybe an additional, I get additional pains, that I subscribe to NRM. Now, if NRM can allow a situation where people who are not properly known can stop the appointed or elected representatives of the people from inspecting the projects that are meant to benefit the people. Now, who is that person, therefore? Who has done it repeatedly? And these are signs and symptoms of a leadership which is not properly organized.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Daniel, for your remarks. I think we are almost coming to the conclusion of our show. I want, Doctor, you tell us your concluding remarks as far as this topic is concerned, and is it a vote of no confidence as you conclude on this topic, a vote of no confidence to the leadership of Kampala Capital City Authority?
I will not look at KCC alone, but Uganda has become a country where we are doing too much supply of leaders, but with a very serious deficiency of leadership qualities and service delivery. And that is what those are symptoms, like Richard said. Because I was on Thursday downtown, because my sister runs a shop there. And when I go there, some of the complex at Kampala Central Business has ghosty property owners. When there is a crisis, these ghosts are not accessible, and those who pretend to be property owners sometimes get fed up and say, but it's not my building. So are the property owners the leaders at the same time? We don't know, because same things happen over and over. Two, can't we have a law regulating the tenant landlord relationship in those business areas? Why should a trader pay 4 million shillings a month, and then for you bill her electricity based on your intuition? This month, give me 700,000, and then the people who come to demand for that money are kanyamaz. There's no established system, like he said, no bank where to deposit this money, but the kanyamaz come when they are very rude, they want to close it. So these are many challenges the traders are facing downtown. So if a kanyamaz comes today, the next day is a URA person. So where am I? If I'm paying for water 300,000. Yet I don't sleep in that shop. I only use a bathroom during the day twice. Then I'm paying electricity 700,000 for a bulb in the shop. So are you telling me I should close and go home? Or I'm of no value? I'm not a citizen of this country. I think leaders of Uganda, leaders of Kampala, we need to offer leadership. If we don't, Ugandans are patient, but I think some people will explode at some time.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Richard, tell us exactly your concluding remarks on this topic. What should be the lasting solution to see the people of Kampala enjoy life like any other in the world?
One way or the other, the impunity will stop. There is nothing that lives forever. One way or the other, the impunity will stop. The only problem is that for many of us who are not involved in the impunity, we shall also be like the mattresses that Rugarama was talking about that were in Nachivu. I don't know if our viewers saw the videos that everything was floating. And that's how we shall end up. We shall drown. We shall drown in the consequences of that impunity. And so it is partly incumbent upon us to also together push back against this impunity, push back against these ghost owners that Dr. Werike is talking about, push back against the ones who stop a prime minister or a speaker from accessing a government project. We must be able to organize, we must develop the courage to sacrifice and push back, because we have to liberate ourselves. Otherwise, we shall float like the mattresses over the Nachivu channel.
Okay, thank you very much, colleague. The team has been very strong in discussing issues concerning our country, Uganda. I want to remind you again, our dear viewers, thanks for watching the dialogue that runs from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. I can't forget to remind you that tomorrow we are celebrating 11 years of Salty Media, and all roads will be leading to Canaan land. Come for a Thanksgiving tomorrow. We thank for the 11 years of Salty Media and what Salty Media has impacted in you. We shall come back again next Saturday. Today, I've been with Dr. Gerard Werike. Wanzala is the one celebrating with us the 11 years. Dr. Daniel Lugarama, you are part of us celebrating 11 years. Richard Waguma Tinkasimire, thank you very much. Every Saturday with the time, you are ever here. Our dear viewers out there, our technical people who have been working us on the camera and in the control room, we salute you and we celebrate with you the 11 years. Until we meet again, we are going for the sports program and Abel Kitaka and Geoffrey Mugera to tell us how Manchester United is going to win the Tottenham match that is going to be the early kickoff. We thank you and God bless you, and don't go away.
Television, Femunyo.
Muzikura mukumandiga natera sanga nyingiro ne banafa ba MTN wanje MTN walala MTN gamba chi to get the power to win njagalo ofuna elyanyi okuwangula ogenda kuwangula ota ngenda kubanga obukadde 10 buli wiki wanje ngenda kubanga kwasa obukadde 10 buli wiki ku simu ye nyinyi kyabonka kimu kyokka line ya MTN bana beka buli ogenda okusasula ekintu kyonna ogenda okusasula ntakwese momo obulira buli ogenda okusasula ngwena kyosasula kyonna kozesa momo oyinza okubanga ngenda kwewola kasente kozesa momo wanje ogenda kuinvestinga kozesa momo abo MTN we jamani nekuwa obukadde 10 buli wiki wala kastelyo bimala bwe pa wentandika ngamba kyekiriwo wanje nenkwata ku masimu ngamba halo walirudawa tenze tirinyi halo walirudawa zende guru halo walirudawa ndi mutukula halo oliwa ndi mwanange ndi wano mu office ntudde nyiga ma computer nenkuta awa namwe kasita nabenesi okuberanga mwana wote koze ebintu n'amanga epeyinze ebolowinze investinze ngekozesa momo. Remember to dial *165# or use the momo app to borrow, to pay, to invest, and you could stand a chance to win 10 million weekly.
Energy for winners.
Abayi, omanyi mmaze emyaka kumpi ananga nsiiga langi naye nga langi ya Global gye nkyasinze okwesiga. Ekisooka ekirungi buli musiiza akimanyi nti undercoat wa Global gwe tutandisa. Kati awo oba oyagala okusiga ekizimbe kinyirira obulungi olina okweyongera ng'okozesa langi ya